Well, we're gonna try it. Another adventure. She's pretty rotten, but we'll see how she goes here. Hey. We didn't go through. Maybe we'll find a big buck in here today. Just found a heck of a buck track back there. It's a day old, so hoping we find this track up here a little fresher. There's a track right there. Let's get out and take a look at that one. He didn't look real big. He ain't dragging his feet, but yeah, decent buck. 180 pounder. We don't want him. That other track's way bigger than that one. That's a pretty good buck. Real good buck. See, there ain't been a soul in here. These are the kind of spots I like to find where I went across that old rotten bridge. Nobody's been in here and deer aren't bothered much, so that's where you usually find a real slammer. Few tracks here, but nothing fresh, nothing made last night. There's one real big one right here, though. Hopefully we'll. That track right there is about 3 days old. Hopefully we'll find him here. I don't know. I'd like to get across here to check that road, though. There's a big buck in here. And I found this track earlier, and got it in here somewhere. Did anybody say I was hard on equipment? We'll get up. You don't want to get on a track that doesn't look wicked fresh and expect you're going to jump that deer, because he could be 10 miles from where you start, you know. You want to be selective when you're going after a big buck. The bigger the deer, the more enthusiasm I have. And I think those bigger ones myself are easier to kill for a lot of different reasons. They're smarter, but they get tired quicker, and they got habits that they've developed over their life. And what do we got here? They're easy to figure out. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, that might be him right there. Following down the road here a little further. What those bucks, especially them older bucks, and he's walked this whole shoulder. I found over the years they'll use logging roads to put distance on to go find another doe, because it's easier going and quicker, especially at night. So sometimes when you're looking for a big buck, especially once you've located one, I'll go right back the next morning and I'll make loops around that whole mountain range on the logging roads. I'll almost always cut his track, but they'll walk these logging roads I've seen sometimes for a mile, and then they'll cut right in because they know where those pockets of does are. So it's an easy way to find a track without, and put, you know, cover a lot of distance and put some miles on. you get into the woods and go to find a track, and I mean, you could walk all day and you're only going to put 5 to 8 miles on or something. And if you don't cut a track, it's a waste of a day. But I always find a track on a logging road. There's never a day I don't find a track. All right, so I just spent a couple hours driving around this whole mountain range, and I cut this buck track when I first came in, coming down the stream, and I got him pretty fresh right here. I'm going to show you this track. So, you look at the stride on that buck. See? He's as big as the end of my toe there. I know that's the same deer because he was with a doe and a lamb further up the stream when I first cut him. And this is the same one. He come out. And he's still right with the same doe and lamb. So they went right down the brook, and I got him pretty fresh now over here. So this is where he come out right there. So I'm gonna probably get on his track right here. See, there he is. Look at the stride on that deer, see? See the stagger on him? See that? It's a nice buck. That's the one we're looking for right there. He's a good deer. I don't know what he's got for horns on his head, but hopefully we can get a look at him today. That's what we want to be doing at the end of the day. So we're gonna head out on this track, and it looks pretty good. Sometimes you don't know till you get going on him, and I gotta gauge how he's walking. If he don't go through a tight spot and the buck goes out around it, I know he's fairly wide in the shoulders, and he's got a good set of horns that go around like a 18, 20-inch opening, and the does will go right through them burrs. And when those bucks are going out around all the time, he's got pretty decent horns. So sometimes I'll follow him for a quarter of a mile and decide that they don't, and I'll go back and find another one. But hopefully this one looks like he's hit by the one. So we're gonna get on this track here and follow it for a ways, see how it goes. Looks pretty good. See what he ate those tops off. You come to a cut like this, and sometimes those bucks will feed, and then they'll lay down. And sometimes right out in the middle of the cut, just behind a fir tree or something. So I like to grunt and just stand still. I'm gonna grunt in a minute here. I like to stand still and just wait, like 4, 5, 6 minutes. Watch for some movement. I've been just back and forth, zigzagging, coming back into his track like 8 different times. What he's doing, he's searching for does, seeing if he can pick up a scent. And I'm on a high spot. Whenever I get to a high spot, I like to grunt and stand still, because you always have the advantage. I got some pretty good little windows here. I can see like 50, 60, 70 yards in some spots. So if he's down below me and he comes sneaking in, I might get a shot at him. So I'm gonna grunt. Wait about 5 to 10 minutes right here. Yeah, he crossed, so I always want to find a kind of a wide spot, because it's usually shallower. I don't see much here. You be careful, because there's a lot of ice on these rocks. End up on your head. I think I'm gonna cross right upstream here. Alright, so here's a good tip for you right here. I picked this track up on the tote road there, and he came and crossed that stream this morning. So I followed him all around, and he went back across the stream. And I got into so many tracks over there. I wasn't sure which one. I mean, he'd been in and out probably 20 times on his own track, and so I came back across the stream. So how do I know that he didn't cross the stream where I just came from originally and then went back and I'm on the wrong side? Well, I'm just up the stream about in line with my truck, and I got tracks going back across, which was the original tracks I picked up. So now I'm going to pay attention. If this track is on top of those tracks going that way, I know I got him in the right direction. If they're going that way on top of the other track, I know I got to go back and sort him out over there. So we're going to take a look. Pretty sure I got him right here. He came back across. Two big bucks. They both crossed the stream together, so I'm pretty sure I'm going right. Alright, that tells me right here that deer's got really good horns, because they generally don't break a limb off unless they got good tine length, because they get rubbing, they get them limbs in between the tines, twist their head, and they'll snap them off. A short tine deer won't do that. So I had those two big bucks, and one was dragging his feet, an old toe dragger, I call him, and the other one wasn't. Here's the other one right here, see? See how that deer's stepping? He's a nice deer, but he's not dragging his feet. I'll show you this one. He gets out by himself here. You look. See, he's a little bit wider. He's got a better stance on him. And he's a little bit bigger deer. That's the one we want. I was on this buck yesterday. I actually put him right in front of Garnett's wife, Sally. She saw him, said he had a big rat, but he's got a hell of a foot on. A little bit crunchy this morning, but I was gonna go further up north where it's not so crunchy, but he's too big to pass up. So I'm just trying to put some miles on here and get caught up with him. I'm not gonna bother to slow down. Be quiet until I think I'm getting closer. Which quite a ways away right now. Just a little tracking tip for all you guys, maybe that are just getting started. You can switch from track to track, because he's gonna stay with that doe until he breeds her. And I've seen guys spend a lot of time, wasting time, because the buck will, sometimes he'll loop out around and he'll stand off to the side, where the doe will go more in a straight line. So I'm just trying to put some miles on and catch up right now. Because I know these deer are quite a bit ahead of me. I just got started. And the track was made in the middle of the night. So you can stay on either one of those tracks, and you'll be right in the deer all day, right in the game. And it'll speed your time up a little bit there, instead of spending a lot of time sorting the buck out. I just want to say how much I like this stagger jacket and the pants. The pants are unbelievable. I mean, they stretch, they're comfortable, they're 60% wool with a 100% merino wool liner, and they're so much lighter than all my traditional wool pants. It's crazy. I didn't think I was gonna like them, when I first saw them. And I've been wearing these every day. And I'm going to use them bobcat hunting this winter. I mean, they're phenomenal. I'm going to have another pair. But if you haven't tried them, I'm telling you, I'm not getting paid to promote these or anything. They said, hey Rick, take these, try them out. The jacket, it's a true tracker's jacket. The collar comes up around your neck. It's just the right weight. I've been sweating all morning, pushing this deer hard and climbing over blowdowns, everything. I can't say enough good about this gear. So, like I said, if you haven't tried them, you gotta try them. So. I was following a buck that was a few hours old. I come onto this slammer right here, going the opposite direction, so we dropped right on his track. I don't know how far I am behind him, but I don't think it's very far, maybe an hour at the most. Try to catch him, he's right on the edge of these clear cuts, so he's searching for a doe. That's a nice buck. Right behind him. I think we're gonna catch him. Hopefully it's in a good spot for shooting. What's the worst thing that can happen on a great tracking day? Well, I'll tell you, when you don't have the buck jumped and it starts snowing like crazy and you end up with a half inch of snow on the track, he gets in with all kinds of other deer. And I looped and looped and looped, and that snow just covered it up so much you can't tell yesterday's track from today's in about a half hour. So yeah, she come in a blizzard here for a little while. Nothing moving. Snowing so hard I lost that track I was following. Filled it right in. Hadn't jumped him yet, so. What, Tuesday, about noon, I just picked up this brash track. There's 3 bucks chasing this dog, and they're just crossing this stream. They look pretty fresh here. I'd say within an hour and a half. I'm hoping to catch them. So 4.5 hours of daylight. So see how it goes. Giant buck tracks everywhere. They've been running does around in here. There's like 3 or 4 200-pound bucks. There's just going everywhere. Gotta see which track I want to take here. Holy cow. I just jumped him. He is a big boy. Got a hell of a foot on him. I had him 20 yards from me. I grunted him in, and it was a bird thicket right there, and I could hear him, but he wouldn't come any closer, so I tried skirting just to the side of him, and I was still grunting, and he bolted and jumped the opening on me. Never even got my sights on him, but man, nice deer. Gonna stay after him here till dark, see if we can get him. Remember, never give up. He was standing in this grass right here. Shots at him. I hope I hit him now. He's a big deer though. No blood. Damn. He's a big deer. Must look good too. It felt good, but I grunted him and he stopped. If I'd had my scope, I just couldn't see any of the grass. That's all. Damn, I do have blood. I do have blood. Yes. I hit him. I don't know how good, but bleeding pretty good. There he is. I got him. He's a cocker. Yeah. Nice buck. Oh yeah. Beauty. Yeah, what a buck, huh? Hell of a deer. I think he's pretty heavy. He's blind in one eye. Look at that. Yes, sir. From fighting. Boy, that's my one of my best 8-pointers from Maine right there. He ain't real tall on one side, but man, he's heavy. Big buck. Yeah, he's a friggin' slammer. Good one. I chased him pretty hard. He finally laid right down. He couldn't take it no more. I give him another one, but nice buck. Beauty. I don't know what he weighs, but I'm thinking he's over 200. He looks it, but I don't know his backbone showing. But he's a long deer. He's not a short one. Yeah. Nice deer. What a beauty. Man. Heck of a tracking day today. I didn't get too anxious about getting on any of them small tracks this morning. I ran into a few guys and I tried one track this morning. I got on it a while and it was too small. And then I found this one about 12 o'clock. No, actually 11 o'clock. About 11 o'clock, it just started warming up. It got to be about 35 degrees. And then you could really tell a smoking hot track in that wet snow. And I took a ride. I said, well, there ain't much snow down where I want to go, but I'm going to take a ride down there anyway. And I'd rather track half bare ground, half snow if I had to be on a slammer than track a small one that I don't really want to kill. So I come to his track. He was chasing a doe and there was 2 more bucks with him. There was 3 bucks in him, 3 bucks total. And I was on him, I don't know, 3.5 hours. I finally caught up with him. Nice deer. I'm pretty happy with that deer. He's a beauty, man. That's a classic Maine buck right there. All right, folks. I did it again. What a beauty. Man, what a nice buck. Heavy. Just a big old classic, big heavy Maine whitetail. I found his track and on wet snow, and he's blind in one eye. Look at that. Been fighting too hard. But yeah, it's a pretty good story. Found his track on wet snow, and he was with 2 other bucks and a doe, and looked like they were probably an hour old, and they crossed the road running. They're all running. So I said, well, I'll try it. You know, I didn't know if I'd catch up with him or not. 3.5 hours later, I jumped him. Man, this is a big-bodied deer. Big frame. I jumped him, and he broke away. Well, actually, I grunted to him, and he come within 20 yards of me in a thicket. Right up, I could hear him, and it was so thick, and I had a little road down to my left, and he just stood there, and I waited like 20 minutes. Finally, it sounded like he walked away, so I said, I'll see if I can go around skirting. Maybe there's another road there or something. So I kept grunting, and I went around, and he looped right back to where I was and crossed that tote road. Maybe if I'd stayed there, I'd have had him right there. But so anyway, I got on him for a while, and I got into these other, like 3 slammers, all 3 of them the size of him. They were running these does around everywhere, and I said, holy shit, how am I going to straighten these out? So I said, well, if I can get one of them lined out, and I think those other 2 bucks that were running that doe around stayed on that doe, and I singled him out. And anyway, I grunted at him again, and I could see him up in the, like 200 yards up in the spruce. I could just see his legs with my binos. Nothing I could shoot at. I couldn't see his horns, and he kept walking back and forth. He wouldn't come down. I think it's because he's got this one eye. He couldn't see very good, and he was leery. I just kept creeping up to him, and then I got up to he went into a cut, and I see him jump in the cut. Couldn't get a shot at him there, and I went a little further, and I see him jump again, and I run. I could see there was a tote road, so I run like crazy to that edge corner, and I look, and I didn't see him running no more. So I pulled my binos up, and he's standing in this 4-foot-tall swale grass, and all I could see was his beam sticking up. So I dropped my binos, grabbed my red dot, and just laid it right in that grass. Boom! And I think I hit him right high in the shoulder. And he took off, and I fired 3 more at him. Well, I got up there, and first, no blood. I go, damn, I missed him. How the hell did I miss him? I got up there, and next thing you know, I see a little blood, a little more blood. And he laid down like 3 times, and then I started pushing him hard. I started running on his track, and I caught right up to him right here. He was laying down 20 yards from me, so I put another one in. Nice buck, real nice buck. Yes, what a cocker, huh? Big heavy brows on him. Nice Maine deer. I'm pretty happy with him. I think he's gonna be like 220, but I've been wrong before, so we'll see. We gotta gut him out. I'm gonna dress him out with my walking knife. The sharpest, most durable knife I've ever owned. And I appreciate it, Taylor. I really do. That is one hell of a knife, man. I'm pretty sure he's over 200. That's gonna make number 30 for me. You see this hat? See the name? Lanny Benoit. That's my lucky hat. My old buddy Lanny. The old grunt call. She did the trick again. And that deer just stood there and waited for me just like I was another deer. I mean, seriously, he wasn't even scared. He'd run a little ways and stop. So if you don't trust my grunt call, I do, and you want to try it. It works. I wouldn't go in the woods without it. I got to get some help to get him out. She's a long walk to my truck. About 2.5 miles back to my truck. I'll make it before dark, I guess. Boom, boom! You're gonna have a sight. He's already done for the first shot. I got up there and he said, what? Beef, how'd I miss you? That shot goes further. Felt good, yeah. And then I'm gonna go further and go to the waterfall. I go, oh, now we're looking better.
You notice his right eye is messed up.
Yeah.
And his time is also messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did some serious. Yeah, like, oh yeah.
We're going by rat.
Who's wearing the bikini right now?
Good enough light? Right now, it'd be me.
How's that? Who's cold? You can wear a bikini.
I'm down, I'm gonna have to really work. They ain't gonna beat that rat.
What do you think of that one?
That's it. I like the rat better than anything I've seen so far.
Really?
Yeah, they have multiple ones. One girl had a 10-pointer, but Brian's 10-pointer.
I'm pretty happy when I walked up to him. Oh man. Yeah.
Beauty. They ain't gonna beat.
He's a nice one. He weighed 210. I would have thought he would have weighed more.
Wicked hoof on it.
Yeah. Long deer too. But we headed back out this morning, see if we can find one for us. So. Yep.
Get your grunt calls.
Put your arm up here so we can get some screenshots. Go to cedar. You don't see that very often. We could make this buck famous today. He just needs to slow down so I can give him some lead.